Good to me. I really enjoyed the whole 28-year run of foolishness and trying everything I could think of. And then this podcast thing came along, and I have absolutely adored it. You've done it. And I'm talking to people that I've talked to over the years for 6 minutes commercial and then 4 minutes commercial. And now I'm really getting to talk to people, and I'm having some of the best conversations of my life. And the fact that it's become so popular is just a gift. That was not the plan. The plan was just to have fun. And now I get to have these mind melds with people like yourself, who I think are really talented and funny and hilarious. And so I was doing that, and then I thought, as much as I love talking to celebrities, I love to talk to, my wife, who you know well, Liza. When we walk around, I talk to people incessantly. I love almost badgering them, finding out what they're up to, what they're doing. And she noticed over time, like, oh, you really love doing that. And I thought, yeah, I really do. So why don't we do one podcast a week in addition to the one we're doing, which is just me talking to anybody in the world. And then occasionally someone would say, as Yarla did, if you're ever in Bergen, Norway, look me up. And I thought, I've been doing travel for a number of years, but always in the little corners, meaning, these late night shows are a lot of work. It's incessant, and then I'd get a week off, and then I would take that week off and go and travel to these different countries and talk to people. And so I thought, I love that, and I love meeting people through this podcast. Maybe there's a hybrid here. And so that's what this show is. This first one's Norway. We go to Thailand, we go to Argentina, and we go to Ireland. And they're all quite different. And then the through line is just that I make friends with these people. I either help them or / hurt them. And so that's how it all came about.
You've used travel before in your show. Who in your household suggests that you leave the country for extended periods of time?
It's pretty unanimous. My wife Liza and 2 children who are very intelligent and have a lot of self-esteem. And they, it's funny because my father, who's still with us at 95, which is absolutely insane, and I've hired the best people to take him out. He's attacked by hired ninjas every day, but he fends them off.
He's slippery.
He is very slippery. And we have this, when I was a little kid, he's a microbiologist, and he traveled extensively to different countries to try and help them set up laboratories that could track antibiotic resistance. And these were not, he wasn't getting paid a lot of money. These were not luxurious trips, but I remember he took me on a few of them. And we would go city to city to city, a city a day, not luxury at all, and going and visiting hospitals. But I remember thinking, I love this. I love going to different countries. I love seeing how other people live. I love trying to become a different person for a second. And then I think if you add to that the late night gig, very envious of people like you, Nick, because over the years I would sit and I would talk to these actors who've been on the show, and they would say, well, I just got back from Prague, and I was shooting a movie there for 6 weeks, and I was so envious. As much as I loved my job, don't get me wrong, I wasn't complaining about my job, but my job was your ass is behind this desk for 28 years and you don't move, and everyone else travels and does things. So, not to discuss our private lives too much, but you and I were mountain biking last week, and you were telling me about this amazing new assignment you have.
That's right. Not a huge deal. We mountain bike.
Keep in mind, it's one mountain bike with 2 seats.
It's an e-assist tandem bike.
Very few people tandem bike on the mountain. But we do.
And I have an 18-inch riser on my seat so that I can be on the same level as Conan.
Yeah. He clutches my ass. We ride through the hills of Santa Monica. But anyway, you were telling me about this new project. I won't give it away, but you were telling me about this amazing place you're going to go shoot. And I always have the same feeling, which is I want to go with you. I hear these things, and for years I was, actors, actresses, people were coming on the show and saying, yes, I just got back from Stad, now I'm off to the Bahamas, and I was thinking, I'm here tomorrow looking at the same people, and I have wanderlust, and so after all these years to get to do this is just a joy, absolute joy.
I'm so happy for you. I mean, that's brilliant that you've created organically from these desires, taken your toolbox and the skill set of and the evil Jeff Ross, who has produced most of Conan's.
Jeff Ross is my producer. He's been with me since day one in 1993. I think he's here somewhere. Jeff, do you want to? I know he's in a hyperbaric chamber, so he's very germphobic. So he's probably, okay, he didn't stand up at all, or if he did, that was sad. Anyway, nice shout out for Jeff Ross, wherever he is.
I've met him 22 times, and he's never said a word to me.
Yeah.
But he's broken 2 knuckles.
To meet, there's an old saying, to meet Jeff Ross 22 times is not to meet Jeff Ross. It is, it's nice because I have this little core of people. I've been very fortunate because not just Jeff Ross, another person who needs to be acknowledged, who's here tonight, I believe. He said he was coming, but he's a slippery eel. He's been my head writer forever, and he's also a close friend, and he has been with me on every travel show. Mike Sweeney. Mike Sweeney's here. Mike, are you here? I don't know. He needs to be acknowledged. He's here. You can't tell in this room the way it's lit if people are standing or not. I think the audio's gotten a lot better, so all in all, I think we're doing okay.
Schwarzenegger. Is Schwarzenegger?
Yeah, Schwarzenegger. Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's really good. Also, I just want to shout out the ghost of J.D. Salinger, who's been a huge... There he is, yeah. Big booster of mine, and loved me. And,
I really love that, though. I mean, I've been a big fan of yours, and I love listening to your podcast because I get to see it, I get to hear it more regularly than I traditionally watch late night shows. Those are more sporadic.
Yeah.
I hear lots of friends come on your podcast, and so many of us have the same experience where, for me, I think 20 years ago, you were my first talk show.
Yeah.
And it was true of so many up-and-comers where you generously would treat us as though as though we were worth a shit when we were actually just on Comedy Central. But ever since then, your sense of originality and your sort of combination of either daring do / or stupidity, which
it's important to have both.
it's a very fine line.
It's funny because I've always thought I said this on my last late night show about almost 3 years ago now, which was that there's an intersection point. There's this rare intersection point between intelligence and stupidity, and they do intersect. And you know this, and I know this, that sometimes some of the funniest, smartest people we know will say the silliest thing, but there's a mustard seed of intelligence in it and wisdom, but it's also incredibly stupid. And when you can get that sweet spot, I really do feel like I'm Ahab chasing the intersection of smart and stupid, and I will go to the end of the earth and probably be dragged into the briny deep looking for it. But I don't care. Like that's my mission in life, and those are that's my value system. And it's funny because when you travel the world and you go to these different places, people understand. It is a language that's understood.
It's quite thrilling to see these, a cafe full of knitters just delighted with how stupid you're being.
Well, I didn't think that was stupid at all, Nick. That was very highbrow and witty, worthy of the Algonquin Round Table. So you can fuck yourself.
I was referring to the mystery scene.
I feel like I'm sitting here talking to President Grant. Nick has more gravitas than anybody I've known, and why you have not portrayed Theodore Roosevelt or President Grant or General Grant, I mean, I swear to God, you have, unlike me, you're a real man. You should be playing those historic roles, and I demand it.
I appreciate it. Conan and I actually had a meeting maybe 8 or 10 years ago, trying to brainstorm on how we could produce a Theodore Roosevelt project together.
No, I will go to my grave saying you're the guy to play Theodore Roosevelt.
I appreciate it.
Or as you get older, a really old Theodore Roosevelt.
Now you could be onto something.
Yeah.
And we decided at the time that anything with both of our names on it would be a flop.
Yes.
Because it would have to be a comedy.
Yes.
And since that day, I've set about producing the deepest dramatic work that I can lay my hands on.
Yeah.
And I will continue to do so until I play Theodore Roosevelt.
I will put all of my money into it, and when I say my money, I mean money that I arranged to borrow from some sort of Swiss concern.
It's not TV. It's also not HBO. It's motherfucking Max. Is my pitch.
No, as I'm happy to say, yeah. HBO was a catchy name that everyone seemed to love, and they went with Max. But Twitter, everyone thought, hey, I'll tweet you. I just did Twitter. You check it out on Twitter, and then you got to change that name to X. When something's really working, fix it. But anyway, I did 4 shows, probably no more after that. I'll quit. I don't care. I've got what I need.
A couple so there are questions about
The manliest man with the goofiest laugh.
Go figure. Did I glimpse Jordan?
Jordan Schlansky shows up in Argentina, and for those of you who aren't aware, Jordan Schlansky is, thank you. That man deserves a smattering and no more. George Schlansky is someone who's worked with me for years, and the best things are organic. I don't mean food, I like fake food, but in comedy the best things sort of develop naturally, and this is someone who was on my staff, and then years ago I started talking to him, and he's an absurd figure, and so we incorporated him into the show. I don't know what he does, he's very full of himself. He comes off as a total know-it-all prick, and we started bickering with each other, and it was comedy gold, and so it led to all these remotes that people really love, and then I thought, okay, he knows a lot about wine and food, so I'm taking him to Buenos Aires, because he says he knows everything about Buenos Aires, and I take him and he proceeds to mouth off about Buenos Aires in this episode, and his knowledge of it, and I just want to kill him. So he came with me on that show, and there's lots of fun adventures in that show. One of the things that this show yields is these little Easter eggs, where I'll go to a country, and it's happened in a few, not so much in Norway, maybe with the song, but these other countries, I get involved and I do something, and I leave something behind, and then people start saying, hey, I was just in Buenos Aires, and I saw this crazy mural that you're in with Messi and the Pope. Why? And it's actually becoming a thing, and it's in the news, and people are saying, I don't understand. And I say, well, you got to check out the new Max series, because we get in, in Star Trek, the mission was always for the Enterprise to not interfere with the culture. And we go the other way. I leave behind murals, songs, statues, things that then end up showing up in the culture. And I'm littering the earth with nonsensical bullshittery. Then people shows up on people's Instagrams and they say, why? Why is there a statue of Conan O'Brien here in this very strange place in this foreign land? And you have to watch the show to figure it out.
You're like a ginger, misshapen Banksy.
Excuse me, pardon me. I get ginger. Why misshapen? What part of me is do you find misshapen?
All right, I'll rescind misshapen. Your penis, which leads me to this is a great segue. Are there any people you talk to in any of these episodes where you don't refer to your penis?
No, that comes up a lot. That's a way of just saying, hey, here I am, let's deal with it. No, it rarely comes up, the penis, not something I'm super proud of.
When you like, I've had some jobs.
Why are you dressed like a lawyer? And I'm dressed like a fairly affluent soy farmer. What happened here?
It did occur to me once I ran into you this evening that I should have asked you what you were wearing.
You know, I almost texted you and said, I'm just going to go denim. And it never occurred to me that you'd show up as the senior senator from Nevada.
I actually did an episode of Kimmel today. I came from Kimmel. And I was supposed to be the second guest following Vice President Kamala Harris. Woo! She had to cancel because apparently there's some shit going on in the world.
Maybe she just realized it's Kimmel, you know?
Maybe.
Come on, I'm friends with him. Those are the kind of jokes we do with each other. It's just fun banter. She's like, wait a minute, I thought this was other show. You know, that's the kind of fun thing that comedians do with each other. And for you guys to woo is very disappointing. Anyway, she probably realized it's Kimmel, you know?
The first thing that occurred to me, which it seemed pretty clear.
So you were elevated and suddenly the first guest.
I was.
But people in the crowd thought we're going to see the vice president.
I initially was booked as first guest. Then I was bumped, and they said, "Would you come on as second guest because we have Vice President Harris?" And I said, "I would love to. I would love to sincerely give her affection and support." And then I said, also, if you can find out what she's wearing, I would love to wear the exact same outfit that she is. And so we had these double pantsuits in production, but then she had to bail.
So you were elevated suddenly, and by the way, I thought we were here to talk about my show, but that's okay. Your Kimmel appearance, where you went from second guest to first, this is going to get an Emmy now. So she didn't show at all.
That's right.
Terrible.
I do have a salient question. It seemed pretty clear that Yarla didn't know you were coming.
No, he did not know.
So walk me through, as someone who sometimes travels to other places to perform, walk me through the production.
Very tricky because you cannot fly 15,000 miles in the hopes that someone's home.
Right.
That doesn't work. So I have a very good team, excellent production team, Jason Chalemi. That's an audience full of plants, if ever I Jason, are you here, Jason? All right, well, thank you. I shouted out like 9 other people, not a word. But suddenly, Spartacus is here. Jason Chalemi's a warrior. He's been with me, much like Sweeney, who refused to reveal himself. But Chalemi has been with me on every travel show. He is a warrior. He's the one dragging a Viking costume through airports. He is the one who really much feeds his bone marrow into these shows, and I love him for that. And he does all of this advanced reconnaissance where he calls them and says, you know, Yarla, the show's coming together, but we need some B-roll of your apartment. Conan, obviously Conan's not coming. He never even says that because that would be stupid. And then that allows us to know that he's going to be there, and then I can show up, and that surprises him. It's a little tricky because sometimes a person of my stature, when they hit a country, you know, it's all over the place. You know what I mean? It's like the Rolling Stones are in town. You don't laugh at that. That's not funny. You know, it's just hard to disguise the fact that someone of my stature, someone who represents what I represent in the industry, not just worldwide, but also culturally, environmentally, financially, and statistically, shows up. It changes the, you know, people notice like, wow, the air is different, there's electricity, and then suddenly they read in the paper that one of the greatest comedians that's ever lived is here, and they say, oh no, Gallagher's dead. But anyway, my point is, we have to go to great lengths sometimes to make it a surprise, and it might not always be possible, but we do the best we can.
Well, it's impressive imagining landing in a foreign country and pulling that off. And by the way, I'll counter the bit you just did by saying I once was passing through the airport in Lisbon, and there was some question about my passport, and the guy suddenly said, Conan O'Brien. Nick Offerman reads the tweets of female celebrity, or young female celebrities.
Yes, it's something you did on our show years and years ago. Yeah,
and this was 10 or 12 years ago, and I thought that how powerful that was, that the goodwill of Conan O'Brien got me through a sticky Interpol situation.
That's really my only use in life.
So you were beloved.
Well, yeah. You know, one of the things I do find is that as much as the show is known over the years, the thing that the real international reach is the podcast, and I'm constantly running into people who have earbuds in who say, I'm listening to you right now, as they encounter me, and they look freaked out. And I, of course, being an egotist, I was trapped thinking, this is weird because I don't want to interrupt myself. I want them to acknowledge me now, but I'm also the one that I think is making them laugh right now. And so I'm mad at me for interrupting me. So it's a weird, you know, like drawing of a hand, drawing a hand, drawing a hand.
It's a conundrum.
It's a conundrum or a conandrum. Don't do that. But yeah, it's as you know, I remember very well hanging out with you and your beautiful bride, right? And we were chatting, and I remember she brought up once that you guys were traveling, I don't know if I'm correct, but I think you were in India, and they were trying to show in a universal language the female bathroom and the male bathroom. And this is no joke, they just came across this themselves. The photograph they used to depict male that would pass for all people in the world was Nick Offerman's face. And they just took, you know, they took a picture from Parks and Rec and put it up, and everyone in India knew that's the man's bathroom. My face would create lots of confusion, lots of gender confusion, but God bless you, sir.
I appreciate it, and I'd like to thank the people of India. There's something about the particular, the coiffure of Ron Swanson that taps into something unplanned in the Bollywood vernacular, where they're like, this American is the greatest of all of us. It's not I wouldn't take it as a compliment, but I acknowledge it. I appreciate it. One thing, I mean, as I said to you before we came out, this is hilarious, you still got it. I mean, if you haven't, you sort of belittled it, but if you haven't seen his appearance on the show Hot Ones, I woke Megan up and showed it to her. It's because it's a very popular show, and I've never seen anybody make the choice of, I'm going to go too far.
Yeah, I watched, it's funny because I watched, I thought it was a funny show, and I watched other people do it. Everyone else is like, eating the wings and answering the questions and saying like, oh, this number 3 is feeling that a little bit. Yeah, well anyway, the cinematography we had was really good, and I was watching, I was thinking, no. You need to go in there and you need to smash it. That's kind of how it felt to me, which was really fun.
Your final rictus, like face smeared and flaming hot sauce, screaming that you're okay.
The quote was, I'm fine, I'm fucking fine.
That might be one of your final.
Also, this is the jacket, and I kept putting the wings into my pockets. And I wasn't thinking about it because I have one jean jacket. I'm not a clothes horse. I don't have a ton of clothes. And I'm coming here tonight, and then I get here, and backstage someone said, wait, is that the Hot Wings jacket? And I said, well, yes, it is. And they said, do you have to get it cleaned after you put all those hot wings in the pockets? And I went, I probably should have, but I did not. This is a little sticky in here right now, and acidic.
I wish I had a small triangle of pita to wipe inside that. But back to the show, let me ask you.
I like how little about the show we're talking about. Because that's like making it a lot more fun.
When you do something like this, how did you narrow it down and choose the 4 people in locations, or multiple people? And was there a 5th or 6th?
Yes, there are other people, other countries, but one of the deciding factors, there's competing interests. One is, how's the person? Did we have a real connection? And these are people that have a real connection. Also, is the country feel like it's a promising place to go visit? And then we want 4 places that are fairly disparate and different. So you use all those calculations to make your choices, and that's what led to these countries. But it's nice because I try to get involved. The woman I talked to, who's a fan, who's in Bangkok, who's from Thailand, she has a complaint about her mother. So I show up, I surprise her, and then I try and mend this rift with the mother. And the mother turned out to be just one of the best characters. Yeah. Unbelievable. Like, we won the lottery. This woman is fantastic. So you never know. I think one of the secrets of this show is stay light on your feet. Because not every person, but maybe someone adjacent to the person will lead you to where you want to go. It's improvisation, as you know. You got to just stay loose, stay open to who's here, what can I work with, take your best shot, but then be prepared to move in another direction if you need to.
Well, you're very nimble at it, and I love, speaking of like personal gravitas, I love that you're able to go to a foreign country, put your hands on someone's shoulders, and say, what a fucking asshole, or like threaten them with physical violence.
Yeah, I like to find people that are smaller than me and threaten them. I find it really funny. One of the things, you bring it up, but I love to switch back and forth. In one of the messages of the show, or it's not even an overt message, but I think it's just what comes across is, I like to be mocked. I very much like to be mocked. So I like to go to these different countries, and I'm the person who doesn't fit. I'm the person who's not good at the given task. I'm the person who doesn't look right in the costume. I'm the person who, I enjoy that very much, and I ask for it. And I love the kind of slow comedy sometimes. Some of it's fast, but some of it's very slow. And I think in Norway you see people who just like, no. No, and we have a culture where comedy is this. The pace is just picked up so astronomically, and I think sometimes when you can slow it down and get these quiet moments, it's the kind of comedy you do really beautifully. Just slow it down, let there be space, and play the awkwardness of it. It's really fun. It's just a different tone, and I found that younger people may be used to this kind of comedy and this whole world of everything sped up, and TikTok, and movies are fast, and television's fast, and everything's hyper fast, but when they see that, they really love it. Or it's different to them. They appreciate it. They get it. It's just a different tempo. It's music. It's just a slower music. And so I like to do both. I like to be the person who's being made fun of, and then occasionally I like to play this version of the ugly American who goes into this sophisticated sound studio, refuses to learn anybody's name, says we need to find a working telephone. I mean, what a dick. But it's fun to be that guy for a second. And what's fun is they all know. They just seem to be like, they're just chuckling, and I'm saying, I can easily learn their names, but of course, I like to play the big American, the caricature of the big shot, of the American big shot. And then I also like to play...
Sure, it's all just a show.
Exactly. I'm pretending to be an asshole. Of course, I'm the furthest thing from it. But then also the person who is being belittled for his choice of a jacket and having to surrender it, or for, so I like to try all those different flavors and see what happens.
Well, you're fantastic at it, and when I saw the trailer for this, I'm obviously a longtime fan of yours, but whoever did your hair and whiskers for that Viking outfit deserves a fucking Oscar. It's gorgeous.
It's really funny because we procured some of the elements, and Jason could tell you more. He procured some of the elements, but he found someone. Jason finds people in country who invariably they're great. They're terrific. So you can get this feeling sometimes of, well, coming from Los Angeles, of course, we need to have. No, that was someone who came with us, and I remember she was very serious about it. And we are vaudevillians. I'm a vaudevillian, so I'm saying, let's just slap the beard on and slap the hair on, and I'll get out there and I'll pretend to be the goofy. And she's like, shut up, sit down, we're gonna do this right. And of course, she was right, because you want it to look, my aspiration for these, which I'm hoping we achieved, is that there's low comedy and the silliness that I got to do on late night shows for a long time. But now we're with Max, and these people are incredible. They're like, you want drones? You want my camera crew, led by Emily Topper. They're just absolutely. There are these incredible these three Amazons that are just kicking ass at making this look absolutely amazing, and it looks like a David Lean movie. And there are drones. There's things are shot in beautiful color. We finished this thing, and then Max said, "Well, now we have to take it to the fancy house to be color corrected." I'm an old man who's been doing this forever, and no one's ever color corrected me in my life. I didn't know what they were talking about. And you've worked in film and in legitimate television, and
not a big deal.
I didn't know what they were talking about, and suddenly I'm looking, and then Max does, he showed me the artwork, and there's this Conan must go guy walking through the street, and I said, I don't know who that guy is, but I'd fuck him right now. It's not.
That's what they mean when you come correct.
Yeah. Yeah, my wife was like, I wish we had taken you to the fancy house 22 years ago and had you corrected, but it is absolutely amazing. So I am, I cannot say this enough, I'm the nose cone of the rocket, and I am the beneficiary now that I've gotten to this point in my career, and all these ideas are coming together, and now I'm with this incredible team of people, professionals, from the people shooting the show, production, but also everyone at Max, and it's absolutely stunning. And I just see the result, and I think, wow, who made this? This, it looks really gorgeous.
It looks incredible.
And my goal was, I wanted to look as good as Stanley Tucci's travel shows, but I want people to learn absolutely. And I want them, whatever he's trying to teach you, I want you to learn nothing. I wanted to make him stupider. So I wanted to have the look of it, but none of the knowledge or attempt to convey what it's like to have really good pasta that you can't taste.
I'm being told to
How dare you speak to me?
I'm being told to wrap up, but can you confirm the rumor for me that the Ireland episode is just a shot-for-shot remake of Wicker Man?
Yes. It is an homage to Wicker Man. It's been done with the permission of everyone involved in the production of Wicker Man.
That sounds
And
really good.
it's shot for shot, it's line for line. And Max is very upset about it. Yeah, there is, I will reveal one thing about the Ireland episode. There's something we do which might be one of the most crowd-pleasing moments, and I don't want to give anything away, but it possibly involves having a little bit of fun with Bono. And
You talking about Bono Voce?
yes, Bono Voce, yes. I don't know what you're talking about. Why did both of you, we shouldn't have both taken those pills.
Can you see me?
I see a blur. I see the suit mostly. And so I'm just assuming you're Mitt Romney.
Has anyone forgotten that Bono
Pardon me?
changed his name to Bono, and his full name that he assumed is Bono Voce?
Is that true?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Beautiful voice. He
And the
changed his
edge.
name to Beautiful Voice.
The Edge.
And
that's is that his Christian name, The
That
Edge?
is, yes, that's
That's an old Catholic name.
Welsh, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, we do something that may or may not involve Bono. And it really delights me to no end. There's a lot of silliness in these shows, and I think there's something in each episode that will provide some delight if people have the time. If people have the time. I don't like to assume they do. I don't know what else to tell you. There's a whole balcony up there. They didn't even bother to put people in. I mean, I could have sold this place out 10 times over. This is for your consideration, so I guess they just have boxes up there. Storage area. I'm sorry, I play bigger houses than this. I don't need this.
I'm sincerely very grateful that I got to be here with you tonight.
When I heard that you were able to do this, I thought that is 10 clicks above what I thought I would have tonight. And you're one of my favorite people, and so just sitting out here with you, and I know you're very busy because
It's not a huge deal.
you've got a real career going. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Nick Offerman.
Just thinking what we would do a week from now, it's a bike ride. Where we ride for hours in silence to the inn of the Seven Veils in Topanga.
Yeah.
Enjoy kombucha and cold
Let's let them in for
silence.
just a second. When we go on these rides, you enjoy yourself, and you probably you're amazed at my endurance, aren't you?
I'm not unamazed.
I don't know. I'm not unamazed means possibly you're not amazed.
I have been astonished at you in many ways
Yeah.
over
Not so much the bike
the
thing.
years to come.
God bless all of you, and let's
Ladies and gentlemen.
let's find out what they're doing with that second balcony.